Retro.
What's up, guys? This is Daniel Logan, Boba Fett from Attack of the Clones, The Clone Wars, Book of Boba, Skywalker Saga game, and hopefully many more things in the Star Wars galaxy. You are listening to Jay and Dennis on Podcast Stardust. Yep, this is the way I've spoken.
Right Sun, Star Wars fans. I'm Jay Krebs.
And I'm Dennis Keithley.
And this is another fully armed and operational edition of Podcast Stardust, the galaxy source for Star Wars news, reviews, and discussion. But before we get to this episode, Dennis, can you tell our listeners where to find us on social media?
It is real easy. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust.
All right. So welcome to episode 1058 of Podcast Stardust. Today we are bringing you our special monthly feature called World Between Worlds, a mystical dimension that connects Star Wars fashion and lifestyle products to your space and time. The goal is to bring you a wide variety of ideas for products to surround you, outfit you, and bind your style sense together, kind of like the Force. So if this is your first time joining us for this monthly feature, welcome in. And if you're tuning in again, welcome back. We've got some fun stuff to talk about this month. But before we jump into this month's latest and greatest Star Wars merch from around the galaxy, Dennis and I always recap any new Star Wars products we've acquired or updates on current items we own. And I'm super excited because, Dennis, you recently celebrated your birthday and Father's Day. So I know you got some good stuff. So what's new in your neck of the galaxy?
Right. So relevant to World Between Worlds, I got a few things I want to talk about. And I was fortunate enough to have my brother and my niece come down for my birthday. And they gave me a t-shirt from Mad Engine is the creator, but you can find it on Hot Topic. And anyways, it is a shirt that is kind of a promotional looking shirt for the Mos Eisley Cantina. The picture I put in our notes makes it look like it's gray, but it's actually a navy colored shirt. And
oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm playing around with that. I think if you click on the link I put there, you can actually see
I can.
the navy color that it's available in. But anyway, it's just kind of I don't know exactly how to describe the style, but it says for across the top, it's got the Mos Eisley in the script, and then smaller letters next to it, and in gold it says, come for Mos Eisley, stay for. And then it's got an image right below that of Tatooine, which is red, and it kind of shows some of the buildings there, but no droids, live music, the Mos Eisley Cantina, where our friends don't like you and we don't like you either. It's a fun, yeah. And there's a little image of Biff in red, their head, live music all week, and so it's just kind of a, I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. We all recognize this fashion here, but it's a great graphic design. It's not some elaborate imagery that goes with Star Wars, but you know exactly what it is. And I've worn this a bunch since I got it on my birthday over a month ago, and really been enjoying it. But again, you can find this over on Hot Topic, and there will be a link to it in the show notes. And I was not aware of this shirt, and so it was really fun to get it.
Yeah, I love this. It just reminds me of just like the old fashioned, like vintage 1970s, kind of style, almost like a Hotel California feel kind of thing. And yeah, I love the design. That's awesome. I used to have a shirt that had Mos Eisley and then Tatooine. It said, "Come for the sunshine, stay for the nightlife." So it's kind of in the same vein as this one, which is really cool. Love it.
Yeah. And then beyond that, I've got some running gear that's Star Wars themed that my wife gave for me. And this comes from Heroes and Villains. There is a Mandalorian performance tee and pair of shorts, and then a Rebel performance tee and performance shorts. So I got two different running outfits. The Mandalorian one is kind of a slate blue color. It's got the Mudhorn crest above the the left breast side of it. And then the shorts are kind of a Beskar gray type of a pattern, again, with the Mudhorn logo at the bottom of them. The Rebel version of this, it's an orange tee. It's got the logo again on the left side. And then the pants are kind of a charcoal gray color. And then I'm not really sure what the little pattern is. It's supposed to be, if it represents something Star Wars or not, but it's also got the Rebel insignia on the bottom of the shorts. So really comfortable. I've been enjoying wearing those for workouts and the like. And now that we're in the really sweltering hot part of summer here, and well, I know it's been all over the nation, but in the 90s and approaching 100s down here, it's been nice for my morning dog walks to have these. And so it's been fun. Some real nice acquisitions that really complemented my wardrobe this past month.
Yeah, these are really great gets for sure. And I was looking at these on the Heroes and Villains website with the links that you provided here as well. And I've got a couple Heroes and Villains things to talk about tonight too. Not that I own personally, but just things that I found. But what I love about these performance pieces is that as I'm looking through some of the features on this, is that they have a UPF of 50. So that's cool. So it's got the built-in sun protection, and it's listed as 87% polyester, 13% spandex. So it's really got that kind of wicking, breathable, type of textile. And then the details on them are reflective, which is cool. So if you're outside and it happens to be early morning or later twilight or whatever, you get that little bit of safety feature, I guess you could say, from that too. So that's really awesome.
Yeah, super comfortable. I highly recommend them. They're on the expensive side for this type of gear, but a big chunk of that's got to be the licensing that they're paying for these products. But
Oh, for sure.
yeah, this will be part of my wardrobe for quite a while.
Well, good. You'll get your PRs, new PRs in these, right?
We'll see.
There you go. We've got some other running stuff to talk about too, but yeah, those are great. So yay. So happy belated birthday and happy belated Father's Day once again.
Well, thank you.
You're very welcome. So for me, I got a big fat nothing this last month, and that's okay because there's just been so much other stuff that I've been focusing on. And I've actually been buying some things for some others, and one specifically we'll be talking about here in just a little bit. But before we jump into that, it is July, so that means San Diego Comic-Con is on the horizon, coming up very quickly. And so I always touch upon the Her Universe fashion show, mainly because Ashley Eckstein, who of course is the voice of Ahsoka Tano in the Clone Wars, is the co-founder or the founder of Her Universe, and she's since sold her licensing and things to Hot Topic, but she's still obviously very involved in Her Universe. So she still does all of the promotion and helps to plan the show. She is going to be hosting again this year. No word on what her particular dress theme is going to be. So I'll have to do another recap of the Her Universe fashion show after the fact, but just a few quick details about the fashion show itself. So it is the 12th annual, and it is going to be taking place, as I said, during the San Diego Comic-Con. This year, it will be on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 at 6 p.m. Pacific time in the Harbor Ballroom of the Manchester Grand Hyatt. So if you happen to be going to the San Diego Comic-Con, the event is free to attend with wristbands traditionally distributed the morning of the event. And it is very popular. So if you want to get in on that, make sure you get there very, very early. So this year, they are presenting in partnership with Warner Brothers Discovery Global Consumer Products. So this year's runway features an all DC Universe DCU theme. So unlike previous years, which have featured a variety of franchises, every competing look on the runway this year will be inspired exclusively by DC heroes and villains. So according to Her Universe, there's a direct quote: "The 2026 runway will feature a historic first, as every competing look will be inspired exclusively by characters from DC's vast library. Also, while previous years invited a collage of fandoms, this year's show challenges designers to channel a singular iconic brand." So, that means no Star Wars this year, unfortunately. That was always, of course, the one thing every year that I was hoping to see is that some of the designers would bring an interpretation of something Star Wars to the runway, but this year will not be the case. So the submissions for designers, the portal ran from March 27th to April 26th, and there are about 20 to 25 finalists that were announced in early May. I just looked on the Her Universe website before we recorded today, and there is nothing listed. Usually they have designer biographies and what their design is going to be and some background and that type of thing. I haven't seen anything. So it is still early July, so I'm sure that'll probably be forthcoming here within the next week or so. But the prizes are for 2 winning designers chosen by audience vote and an expert judging panel will take home a $2,000 cash prize and the opportunity to design a special exclusive fashion collection with Her Universe. So, like I said, no Star Wars. So, unfortunately, we won't be addressing too much of it. But again, because it's Ashley Eckstein, I thought it would be fun to do. So, but DC, that's pretty cool. I'm actually, obviously people that are fans of Star Wars are usually cross nerds as well. And I know we're both big fans of Marvel, DC, and the like. So how do you feel about that though, Dennis? Do you think that that was a good choice to just go with one specific fandom? I mean, it's obviously up to them what they want to do, but or do you think that it would have been better to continue to have the conglomeration and myriad of different fandoms represented?
Well, I mean, I'm not the right guy to ask on this one. I think Ashley Eckstein has got a good grip on her business and her fashion shows and everything like this. And of course, sounds like a deal was made in order to promote DC products, and that's fine. That's great. It's not like she's, Her Universe and is going to suddenly stop doing Star Wars altogether or Marvel or anything else. But fine, for this fashion show, they want to focus on DC. DC's trying to build its own cinematic universe right now. We just went and saw Supergirl 2 Friday nights ago, and we enjoyed it. I know it's been getting mixed reviews online, and it did not do well in the theaters, but we thought it was fun. So I'd be curious to see what, if any, type of fashions were inspired by the looks from that movie. I'm imagining not much since the submissions were due before that movie came out. But yeah, more power to them. It's as you said, we're fans of Star Wars and Star Trek and Marvel and DC and Harry Potter and on and on and on. There's plenty of great sci-fi, fantasy, superhero type franchises out there. Lord of the Rings, whatever, that could be the subject of this. And so much has been done with Star Wars. What does it hurt to focus on something else like DC?
Sure. Absolutely. Well said. Very well said. I am excited though, because I do want to see what all the designers come up with. I just think it's so amazing, the creativity and the passion that these designers bring forward. So we will do, like I said, a little recap after San Diego Comic-Con. So that will be in August's World Between Worlds for sure. So, speaking of Her Universe, I actually do have one set of products that I want to draw attention to because, as we were saying, it's been really hot in most of the continental US, and we've been under kind of a heat dome. I know in Ohio it's been sweltering. So, I've been wearing my hair up quite a bit. And I know that we had a World Between Worlds several issues, if you will, ago, where I had talked about a claw clip to help hold hair up, and it was a decorative lightsaber claw clip. Well, Her Universe actually has an entire collection, and I was inspired by this because they just had a Instagram post, and I thought, oh yeah, they do have some other designs available. So if you go to either the link in our show notes, or if you go straight to the Her Universe website and you just search Star Wars hair clips, you'll find them all. So they do have the lightsaber claw hair clip, but they also have several other ones as well. So they have a Millennium Falcon line art claw hair clip. There is a Padme Naboo inspired hair clip. There's a Vader, and this one is black. So I should mention that the Padme and the Millennium Falcon are both all silver plastic. And then the lightsaber has some black as well as silver. Vader is all black, not surprisingly. But then, of course, we've been all Maul all the time here, for the length of the series at least. And they do have a Darth Maul hair clip. So it's all red and it's Darth Maul's visage head. And that's really cool. And then there's a kind of a gunmetal gray, weathered looking Mandalorian helmet claw hair clip as well. So there's those. And then there's a couple of choices for, I call them like fashionable bobby pins, but they call them clips. But there's one, it's called Star Wars Icons. And this one is gold. I love this because I love gold. So it has the Padme's Naboo symbol, it has the Rebel symbol, it has the Jedi symbol, and then it also has Ahsoka with two tiny little rhinestones for the diamonds. And so I just think that's really cool. I think I'm gonna have to pick this one up, quite honestly. And all of them are 20% off right now. So for example, that set of 4 that I was just mentioning in gold is $10.32. Not bad, especially if you're getting some other things from her universe, so you can save on the shipping as well. And then there is a Darth Maul little bobby pin hair clip set as well for $13.52. And this one's a silver tone, but it has the red enamel for Darth Maul's face. And then there's also some kind of red rhinestones and like a black onyx type rhinestone for the lightsabers. So you get 2 Darth Maul heads and then 2, the halves of his lightsabers, if you will. So I just think that that's really cool as well. So they're all nickel-free zinc alloy. So if you do have any type of allergies as well, because some people, especially their scalps and things, are really sensitive to certain types of metals. So that's nice. And they're about 2 inches long. So they're not overly big. So you can have a nice little flare of some things for the hair without actually having it be too much of a huge standout kind of a statement sort of thing. So I might have to actually stock up on some of these because these are really cool. Does Beth wear her hair up at all? Because she has like shoulder length or longer hair, doesn't she?
Yeah, it's past her shoulders at this point. And especially in the heat, as you were suggesting, she frequently uses hair clips and the like and stuff like that. Here's the thing is that I wish on the product pages for each one of these things, they would have given us like an image with a model using these things, because I'm having a hard time visualizing the Darth Vader hair clip without it look like they're just Darth Vader's his helmet sitting on the back of your head when you're using that clip. So I'm not saying it's a bad product, but I'm struggling with visualizing how this would work.
Well, typically what I'm thinking is, from the picture itself, like if you look on the web page, it does have a double-sided Vader helmet with the claw in the middle. So you can, when you put it into like the ponytail or the bun or whatever, you're clipping it so you can see the helmet from both sides.
Right.
So,
Again,
yeah.
it's just the idea. Like, okay, look, the Padme inspired one. That looks like, I can imagine what that would look like on someone's back head. But just the idea of the Vader helmet sitting off the back of someone's head. I mean, we've talked about subtlety sometimes with some of our preferred Star Wars fashion. We like our Star Wars t-shirts that have Obi-Wan Kenobi or Darth Vader or whatever on, but sometimes for a different environment, work, school, whatever, when you're being a little bit more professional, you don't want it being so loud and out there.
Right.
I'm just curious what the Darth Vader helmet looks like hanging off of someone's head, with, holding a bunch of hair. Whereas like the Padme one would be, no one would know necessarily that is Star Wars.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Yep. Unless you're looking at it straight on from where the clip actually is. I'll tell you what, I'll just have to get them and I'll just send you some pictures.
there you go.
So now I have a mission, and that'll be functional as well as fashionable. See, works out by the will of the force. It's all good. So once again, go to heruniverse.com to find those, or you can hit up the links in our show notes. So the next item I have in here is just so much fun because, of course, you know me, and I have been completely obsessed with Rada the Hutt this summer because of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and I just love Rada. So this one came up on my Instagram feed from a user by the name of Zutton's Paint Box. So it's spelled Zuttons, and then paint box, all one word, on Instagram. And so Zutton's Paint Box actually has a lot of really fun Star Wars fan art and different types of things that they bring to life, if you will. And so sometimes these show up on different types of prints that you can order, t-shirts that you can order, and the like. So there was one that just completely took off with the fans, which is definitely what caught my eye. And instead of like hot girl summer, it's hut boy summer. And this is on a t-shirt, and of course it has Rada just sporting his guns, his biceps, and it just has sort of this, I guess you could just say type of hut feeling font. And you can order this from a website called bonfire.com. And so it's actually, if you go to the bio for Zutton's Paint Box, you can find it there, and you can just go straight to the link. And there's a few different styles that you can pick from. So I'm assuming that Bonfire is very similar to something like TeePublic, where it's a website that you can put your own art onto and then people can order from it. But there is a tank top available, a unisex tee available, and those are all in black. And then there's a crystal tie-dye tee, which I'm really digging. So it's kind of a grayish and white tie-dye. And then there's also a women's racerback tank in the black as well, which I'm kind of torn. I don't know if I want to, if I get this, if I want to get the crystal tie-dye tee, because I always say I need another t-shirt, like I need a hole in the head, right? But the racerback would be a lot of fun to wear to work out or to go for a run, because of course you've got Rada with that pose. But I just thought this was so much fun. And it's, depending on what you get, the crystal tie-dye tee, for example, is $34. And then the comfort tank is $30. And then, so there's different prices, but they do have sizes small through 3XL, and there is a size chart, and they all have different types of textiles available, I guess you could say. And so most of them are all cotton, or it's a cotton poly blend. And some are, like, for example, 100% ring spun cotton, and that type of thing. So you can check that out. But again, I just love this. I had to put this one in here. But what do you think? Hut Boy Summer, are we on board, Dennis?
Oh, I think it's a fun shirt. It's not one I'm going to add to my wardrobe, but it is. I love that they took advantage of what just happened to Mandalorian and Grogu to produce the shirt.
Oh yeah, me too. And I just love the fact that people are becoming so creative with this. And it's just, yeah, it's so great. So speaking of, let's go ahead and move on to our next product. So this one is another one that showed up in my Instagram, and I'm always looking for ways to incorporate Star Wars into our home, right? Because that's part of our lifestyle. And so even if it's not necessarily something that I personally would do, I love to live vicariously through people who will put these types of things in their living rooms or in their game rooms, or if they have like a home theater, or if they have, I always called it my fan cave instead of my man cave, because I'm a fan, not a man. But all my Star Wars stuff was down there. And there's a website called 11mark.com. And on Instagram, the user's name is Mark's Magic. And what's really cool is that these are display solutions for a lot of different types of fandom sorts of things. So mostly Legos, okay? So you can think of all of and of course I thought of you immediately, Dennis, because you're always talking about how you're looking for creative ways to display your Legos. So what's really awesome is that you can buy these display frames, and it's essentially got the background for whatever Lego set you're trying to display in this really cool kind of artwork sort of way. So they have, for example, the Mandalorian's N1 Starfighter, there's an X-Wing Starfighter, a Y-Wing, Luke's Land Speeder, the Millennium Falcon, the Dark Millennium Falcon, which I know you own, Jango Fett's Fire Spray, Slave 1, A-Wing, the Tantive 4, an AT-AT, and the Justifier. So they go from like all the different types of styles. You can get it illuminated with LEDs or non-illuminated, and they just have beautiful artwork behind them, for example. So the N1 Starfighter is this gorgeous kind of ombre of a desert scene where down at the bottom it's red and it says Mando, and then it morphs into, you know, like a beach with ocean kind of thing that and ombres out into. So, and really not super duper expensive. Like you would think for something like that, like, oh my gosh, this would be really expensive. $109. Okay.
Yeah.
So and that's, I don't think that's too bad. But some of the other ones are just really cool. Like the Dark Falcon on the Starfield is really cool. Han Solo's Falcon actually has almost like a schematic, if you will, of the Falcon itself with a data file, a whole thing about the secrets of speed, the history, some of the galactic adventures. So you could go super, super simple with this and just have a really nice little artistic kind of background, or you could go really technical. And I just think it's a lot of fun. So, again, if you go to 11mark.com, you can check all that out. And they also have minifig types of display case available as well. This one's definitely a little bit more pricey, so it's $258, but it is a premium light up wall mounted display case for Lego Star Wars minifigures and brick built Star Wars Legos. So you can get up to 112 minifigures into this one. So the LED version is the 258 version. And then the base model, which is non-illuminated, is on sale for $199. So, how do you feel about these, Dennis?
Well, it's funny. I actually got that Mandalorian N1 set that they've got. I got that for my birthday as well. It's a couple of Lego sets. I just didn't bring it up because they're not really fashion and lifestyle products.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You did.
Yeah. I also got the ATST UCF set, and then there was the Darksaber set that they were including as part of their May the 4th promotion. That if you spent so much, they would include that, and so that was a bonus gift that I got. Anyway, that aside, these are really cool. I can't use them because I have no wall space. I have too much art up on my walls right now. But I've seen these advertised, or at least a competitor's product or something like them, on Instagram, Facebook, and various social media pages as well. And no, they're incredibly cool. But perhaps if I had a bit more space, I'd consider it. But I put mine up on the shelves, and then I got a lot of these sets. I was looking around. I was like, yeah, I got the AT-AT, I got the fire spray. I've got Luke's land speeder, but I haven't put together yet. And it's some of these sets are a weekend commitment, and I just haven't had spare weekends to devote to these type projects. But
Mhm.
I appreciate these sets. This is another fun way to display your creations. I would like, before I commit to anything like this, I would want to spend more time and get more feedback about how secure they are on these things when you put them up, because
Mhm.
when you assemble 2,000 pieces, you really want to be sure that it's not going to fall off your wall and shatter. Because yes, you can get all the pieces together, and I always can keep all the instruction booklets. And well, I always end up talking about Lego more than I intend to on these shows, but here we are.
It's
But
a good thing.
but it's one thing when you got the pile of bricks and the sets always come in bags and you put one bag together at a time. It's another thing when you get all the pieces and you have to recreate the set. And when they're not segregated like that, trying to fix something could take way longer than it took to build the thing in the first place.
Mhm.
But no, these are cool. I like the idea, but it's just not something I'll be using because that's not how I set off my office and my display.
No, I totally understand that. And, here's the thing, you just need to, like, build an entire addition to your house, and then you'd
Oh
have all
God,
kinds
yeah.
of
Right.
get right on that, Dennis, right?
Yeah, exactly. If I win
They
the
do have
lottery, there will
cases
be a
too.
Star Wars Lego display room, but
Nice.
that's not entirely likely to happen. So,
Nice. There was actually a gal I love watching all the home improvement stuff that people do with Star Wars, and there was this gal that redid her entire basement into a Star Wars theme, and she had the entire thing. I wish I would have linked it in here. If I think about it, I'll send you the link and maybe you can add it, or I'll just talk about it next month. But she did so much work, and it was just really impressive the way that she did everything. And it was all stuff from Home Depot and Lowe's, and everything from like LED light strips to like she put that corrugated metal
I've seen
underneath.
this.
Like, did you
Yeah.
see this one?
Yes, I did, and
Okay.
I was very impressed by it.
Incredible, absolutely incredible. And, she did, I think she said she spent 11 months doing it. And she's
Yeah.
like, after all the sawdust and the tears and thinking, what did I get myself into? It's finally done. And it's so cool. It's so inspiring. So it is possible, to do that kind of stuff
This is why
and
I wish
create your
Texas homes
space.
had basements so I could do things like that, but we don't have basements here,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. And I have a basement, but it's full of my collectibles, but it's not done.
right, right.
Yeah, maybe I'll get on that. There you go. So one other thing just to note really quickly too is that we had talked before, I know, about Lego cases and where to buy them. They also have cases. So they have display cases for things like the brick heads and different kits and that type of thing. So if you are a Lego aficionado and you are looking for a display solution, then check out 11mark.com. All right, so moving on, we were just talking about your running gear, and you and I are both runners, obviously. And we have participated in some of these virtual challenges before where you can receive the medals for keeping track of your miles and then sending them in, and then essentially like buying your medal. And so some people say, oh, but that's not any fun because you're not actually there competing. But a lot of people just really like to have the collectible medals. So I found a virtual challenges called the Conqueror. And so it's at theconqueror.events/Star Wars is the website itself. So it's says turn movement into adventure. Your real world steps will move you along custom maps from Tatooine to the Death Star. So I thought this was really cool. You can sign up for the different races, and you essentially have different types of challenges to work your way through. And these medals are absolutely beautiful. And a lot of them have moving pieces and different articulations to them, super heavy. They have everything from, again, like the Millennium Falcon, the First Order, one called the Sith, the Death Star, Rebel Alliance, Han Solo's Rescue, the Pod Race, the Jedi Order, and the Dark Side. So, for example, I'll just pick one of these here. So, if you have the Jedi Order Virtual Challenge, you need to complete 117 miles or 189 kilometers. You get 5 virtual postcards along the way and an animated map. So there is an app that you would download. And this one specifically, you would follow the story of Anakin Skywalker's journey as he tries to rescue Obi-Wan Kenobi and ends up in the Battle of Geonosis. So every time you move, you progress along the exclusive Star Wars virtual map. So you can run, you can walk, you can cycle, or pick any other activity. Walking your dog, doesn't matter. Just keep moving. So I just think this is super cool because I'm a huge advocate of movement as medicine. It doesn't matter, like I said, if you're running, walking, cycling, whatever, and then you can get something fun out of it as well. So you can actually watch your progress on the route. So for this one specifically, it's the route across Geonosis, a harsh rocky planet beyond the borders of the Galactic Republic. So again, every step takes you further along the map. You track your miles, you sync it with your fitness tracker or smartwatch, or you can manually add distances as well. And again, any activity counts. So you can explore all 6 maps with the full Star Wars pack. So depending upon what you want to do, you can sign up for the one or ones that you want. And then they also have a community that you can join to see what other people are doing, to keep yourself inspired, those types of things. So essentially, one challenge is $50. 3 challenges, you get 15% off, and then it kind of goes up from there. You can do all of them for $299.99, and you can also get free challenges along the way. So I thought that was really cool. You can also get some other perks with this as well. There's digital certificates of completion, and you also get notification that it actually plants trees for your motivation and your steps as well. And you also get a bunch of other kinds of fun stuff too. So you get the postcards, collectibles, little text snippets, some fun stuff. So there's tons of FAQs on the website that you can check out if you have more questions about it. But again, it's just a fun way to get things moving. But did you get a chance to check this one out?
Yeah, I've been looking at the different challenges there. I like the app aspect of
Mm-hmm.
of these as well, where it's, you know, it's not just you out running in the streets or on your treadmill, whatever. You get to see your progress on the app. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just love that they all have different themes. So if you go to the pod race, that one's 140 miles. Follow the story of Anakin Skywalker's journey as he races in a life or death pod race for freedom. So if you want to start small, you're not really sure. The one that has the least amount of, I guess you could say, commitment to it is Han Solo's Rescue, which is 60 miles. So this one is Luke Skywalker's journey as he goes on a mission to rescue Han Solo from the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. So again, just a lot of really, really, really fun things to choose from. So again, that is at the Conqueror events link in our show notes. So if you're running, if you're moving, you might need to hydrate. So Ice Shaker actually has a few new designs in their collection. And we've talked about Ice Shaker before on World Between Worlds. And they do have lots of different types of Star Wars designs available. And their few new ones that they have are actually 4D designs, which I had to look really closely and figure out, okay, what makes this 4D? But they're more of like a raised embossed design. So the artwork really is very vibrant, very colorful, really pops out at you. So the two that they have that are sporting that 4D design, there is an Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this one is really cool. So it's Obi-Wan from the Obi-Wan series is what it looks like, and he's standing there with his lightsaber. And then it also has a vision of Vader and Obi-Wan as well from the Kenobi series as well. So this is, again, full color, elevated, printed completely around the cup, and it boasts that it can keep drinks ice cold for 30 plus hours. So this is selling for $44.99 currently on their website. And some people might say, well, what makes this like so much better than, other types of containers and shaker bottles and that type of thing? So the owner of Ice Shaker created this to help alleviate all of the issues that he had with other protein shaker bottles, he said. So he wanted something that perfectly blended his protein powder so that no chunky protein was left behind, because nobody likes that. You have to chew your protein and then it bursts into those nice little powder poofs in your mouth. Been there, done that. Don't like that. Or you just need something to keep your beverage ice cold for hours. Don't worry about sweating, leaking, spilling. And it wasn't as noisy as other shakers as well. So that way, if you're getting up early in the morning, and you're trying to make a protein shake before you go to work, you're not waking up the entire household with that. So if you are interested in that one or the other design that they have, which is Vader, and this one's really beautiful. I love this one. So it's mostly red in the background with Vader raised in black. So the red is kind of showing through almost like a stained glass window. And then on the other side, it says, "I am your father." And then there's like a portion of the Imperial cog that you can see on that as well. And that one is also $44.99. So very cool. Love these. Do you own an ice shaker bottle or no?
No, but I mean, I've got so many other Tervis and other tumblers and things like that I'm just not in the market right now for anything like this. But these are all very cool. I like the designs. They did a really great job with these.
Yeah, they really did. And I'm telling you, like, there's nothing better than having a good, like, shaker bottle, honestly.
Mhm.
I still use, like, every morning for my protein, I'm still using my little mini blender that I talked about. I think we talked about that right after the first of the year, like my favorite things and things that keep me on my resolutions and stuff. And I still use that every single morning. And it's my Vader mini blender. But if I had to do something on the go, I really think that this is something that I would definitely want to invest in. So once again, that's at iceshaker.com. So back to heroes and villains. So I said that I was going to have some things to complement your new running gear. And heroes and villains has, guess what, Dennis? New socks.
Yeah.
Yes. So, so they actually have a few sets of new socks, and Heroes and Villains always has really great quality stuff. So they have these ribbed crew sock sets for $32, and you get three socks in the set. Boy, that's a tongue twister. 3 sets of socks in the set, because you don't just get 3 socks, because that would be kind of weird. You would need 6.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a Mandalorian ribbed crew sock set, and you've got the Mythosaur and the Mudhorn signet and the Boba Fett family signet on that one in various colors. And then there's a Jedi ribbed crew sock set. I love this one. It's kind of a like that teal blue with the brown and the cream colors and varying tones. So they switched that one up. And then there's an Imperial ribbed crew sock set with the Imperial cog on all 3. And then once again, you have your red and black and gray and white kind of all mixed, depending upon the color blocks that they use. And then there's also a Rebel ribbed crew sock set. And this one is, no surprise, a little bit of orange, a little bit of white, a little bit of gray. And you get all 3 sets for $32. So I thought those were pretty cool. And then if you are going somewhere on vacation this summer, they do have a couple of new options for luggage. So the first one is the Rebel Skyrider check-in. So this one is actually a really durable type of suitcase, and it's built for longer journeys, and it offers spacious storage, durability, and smooth travel from departure to destination. So it's one of those hard shell exteriors, and it's got lots of different pockets and flaps and things on the inside with that organized interior to help keep everything protected and ready for you wherever your trip takes you. So this one is kind of an orange. It's not really, really bright orange. It's more of like, if you do anything with construction, it's more of the cat orange is what it reminds me of. Like if you're thinking about like bulldozers and skid steers and stuff like that. So it's the color of the cat machinery, I guess you could say. But it's got kind of that really rugged, like box feel that you see, like storage box feel that you might see on a spaceship. And it's got the portion of the Rebel logo and then some Orabash and that type of thing. But it also has the 360 dual spinner wheels and a detachable 2-in-1 toiletry storage and shoe rack even. And there's locks that are available that have like the numbered locks with display windows and a push button to open the lock. All kinds of really great things. And it's on sale right now for $325. And there's also a Mandalorian Skyrider option as well. So you get kind of like the Beskar gray with, the features of the Mandalorian helmet and once again, the Mudhorn. And you've got some Mandalorian instead of Orabash alphabet features on there as well. And that one's also $325. So once again, if you are going to be off exploring the galaxy and you need some new luggage, then that might be the place to go. So I've never owned a hard shell luggage piece before. Do you own one?
Yes, actually, we own a couple different pieces that are hard shell. And
do you like those better?
Indifferent, really. It's we've got both soft and hard, and really it's been more of a we need luggage, what's available type of a situation for the most part.
No, I totally get that.
So we have one piece that's got like the built-in charging station that you can, power up before you go travel. And then while you're sitting in airports, you can charge your phone or whatever from your luggage and things like that. And that's cool. But we like really never use those features. But no, I mean, it can be more durable, but at the same time, it scuffs up more. The soft type stuff is fantastic, but it can tear. So it's you're dealing with different advantages and disadvantages with whichever way you go.
No, that's fair. I've
Yeah.
always just had the soft shell, so I've just never, gotten into the hard shell stuff before. But
I've never paid these
yeah,
prices for luggage.
yeah.
That's for certain. I mean, I usually go to Costco and pick something up, whatever they've got. So yeah, that's the way
Hmm.
we typically do things.
No, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
And there's actually, I failed to mention too, there is a hard shell carry-on as well that they call it the Grogu Departer. So it's very much in the same types of specs as the other two that I just talked about, but that one's $250 and obviously smaller. So there is that as well. But they also have luggage tag sets available. So there's really quite a lot of things to pick from. But they don't have any of the charger types of ports like you were just talking about, because I
Right.
looked through the specs again and I did not see that. So that is definitely, if that's something that is important to you, then you're not going to find it on those pieces, unfortunately. So, but I know it's about the Star Wars more than anything else for a
Exactly.
lot of
Yeah.
people. So we've just got a few more products to get through here. And I picked this next one out just because summertime seems to be the season of weddings. And so sometimes people want to do something a little bit different than maybe the traditional wedding ring or the like. And so K Jewelers actually has a couple of new rings available that are not just the two that I picked out are Ahsoka Tano inspired, because big surprise, I love Ahsoka Tano. But they are absolutely beautiful, number one. But the cool feature that they have is that on a couple of the types of rings, you can do this virtual try on feature where you just, and I tried it and I put a picture in our notes for you, Dennis, so you can see what the ring would actually look like on your finger. So you can kind of decide, especially if you have smaller hands like me, if it's something that would look good, on your hand type thing, which I thought was a really neat thing to do. So I was playing around with that a little bit. So there's a couple different ones. There's this beautiful labradorite and diamond ring 6 cut total weight sterling silver and 10 karat rose gold, which has some really beautiful features that you can check out. And then there's the London blue topaz and diamond ring, 6 karat total weight sterling silver and 10K yellow gold. So these are both just gorgeous, gorgeous pieces. And, I failed to mention from K Jewelers, I think. And so both of these are available on their website, and there's tons of different types of Star Wars rings available as well. And you can even stack them. So the virtual try on that I was doing, I didn't take pictures of it, but I was trying on different ways to stack the rings. So if you're looking for example, like an engagement ring versus a wedding ring type thing with the band, then it gives you options. So if you don't live really close to a K Jewelers, or if they're not having the particular item at that store for you to look at or try on, then you can check those out. So prices on these, of course, are going to be a little bit more pricey. So the rings anywhere from simple bands around 150 to 200 all the way up to about $500 for some of these. So again, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I would really encourage, if you're thinking about doing the virtual try-on, definitely to do that. It's a lot of fun, if nothing else. And they do have tons of other Star Wars products as well. So not just rings, but there's a really fun Chewbacca pendant necklace, for example. You know this because we've been doing this forever, but anybody that's fairly new to World Between Worlds, I'm a sucker for anything Chewbacca and anything Stormtrooper. Why? I don't know, but I'm always drawn to those. So there's a black and brown diamond necklace, 1/5 carat total weight, 10 karat yellow gold and sterling silver Chewbacca. It's $500, so definitely not something I'm going to be picking up, but it's super cute nonetheless. And they also carry things like citizen watches. Like, for example, there's one with the Darth Maul face. So tons and tons of different really, really fun things. So if you haven't been on the K Jewelers website recently, I think you'll be surprised at how many results. They're currently offering 49 different results. And again, that's everything from rings to men's rings as well. So not, I picked out a couple of the women's rings to talk about, but there are men's rings. And again, the pendant necklaces, there are bracelets, there are watches, all kinds of fun things. So I think with that, I had kind of hinted that I was going to talk about some other things that I'm very much into right now, my grandchild. But I think I'm going to save that until next month because I know we're already going kind of long on this particular episode. So next month, we will save all the babies and little kiddo stuff and also back to school. So, wah, wah, wah. Happy for the parents, not so much for the kids, right?
Yeah. Crazy that we're already at that point when you start thinking about that, but summer just started.
Yeah. Well, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, I was actually just at Kohl's today and they have this huge archway that is just like, oh, back to school. Here we go. I am so back to school, that is. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy to think about. We're not even like we're almost halfway through July. So for a lot of places, they start August 1st. So it's coming up. That's for
That's right.
sure.
Yeah.
So, yep. So we'll be talking about more of that in next World Between Worlds. So with that, thank you all for joining us for episode 1058 of Podcast Stardust and this episode of World Between Worlds. And before we go, just want to thank you for tuning in, and we hope you've enjoyed the episode. And if so, please make sure to subscribe to Podcast Stardust on your podcatcher of choice. And I'd also like to remind you that you can find all episodes of the podcast on retrozap.com, which is also home to a lot of other great podcasts. And which ones did you say were really having some new episodes right now? Remind
Yeah,
me.
the most active right now are what Jay Shepard and Josh are doing on Enjoy Stuff and the Superhero Suite, and occasionally Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. case files.
Perfect. There you go. So tune in once again to retrozap.com for those and so much more. And as always, we greatly appreciate a 5-star rating and reviews on whatever podcatcher you use, and especially on Apple Podcasts, because that one boosts us up that algorithm. So please share the show and your favorite episodes on social media as well. And speaking of which, Dennis, what are those social media contacts? One more time.
So we can be found on Facebook and Instagram at Podcast Stardust. We have some Pinterest boards sharing a bunch of Star Wars things going on over there. The show is also available on YouTube and YouTube Music, audio only. And then if you're looking for Podcast Stardust merch, namely t-shirts and things like that, head over to TeePublic. You can find a link for the store in the show notes.
Perfect. All right. So upcoming on the show, this Friday, we are getting back into the latest and greatest in Star Wars news. On Monday, we will be continuing the Clone Wars rewatch series. And then next Wednesday, we're getting back into the newest edition of our Darth Bane book club for the year. Super excited about that one as always. So thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great rest of your week. And until next time, may the force of Star Wars fashion and lifestyle be with you.